We are back. We are at episode 9. Almost
wow.
at double digits. Almost at double digits.
Here we go.
We're
Gordy.
hot out the gate here.
Yeah.
Of the Mo&Co Show. As you all know, I am Mo. And today's co is the one and only Corwin. Behind the scenes, I need a round of applause for the big man, Corwin. Yep.
Wow.
I mean, usually
I'm
we have 2 rounds of applause behind the scene, but producer Matt is actually currently in a playoff game. So hopefully the best for producer Matt. He doesn't absolutely fumble it like the Leafs did the past few years, which I notice the Leafs hat.
Oh, yeah.
First and foremost, not a coffee
Behind
guy.
enemy lines here.
First and foremost, you're not a coffee guy, are you?
No, I don't drink coffee at all.
What's your go-to? Like you kind of let me down when you said no coffee.
Yeah, like just like beverage or
Yeah, like you're casual.
In what way?
I don't know. Like, what would you drink right now? Like a tea guy? You're not a coffee guy.
No, I kind of
Diet
just like
Coke or what?
Not really. Probably just water.
Okay.
Like
Get a
water,
Gator
beer. Love a chocolate milk.
Ooh,
yeah.
This guy's like Slavkovsky because Slavkovsky doesn't drink coffee, just straight chocolate milks.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
hot
my
chocolates
guy.
and
I
chocolate
love that.
milks for Slav. So
Hell yeah.
maybe there's some room for you over the Habs side, bud.
Man, it's been tough. I'm sure we'll get into it, but I've been like they've really grown on me in personality wise.
The Habs or what?
Yeah, I just feel like if spoiler alert, I work at Bauer now, and the
No way.
I know, right?
We didn't know that.
Yeah, but there's so many great Bauer athletes on the Habs, so we've worked with a bunch of them, and they're all like the best guys ever. So
Yeah.
it's just like damn,
It's a great group of dudes.
Yeah.
And let's get into that a bit. You know what I mean? Because obviously, growing up, at least for me, I'm pretty recent in this whole hockey landscape of social media. You've been kicking for the longest time. It seems like you've been in and around it. Obviously, started with.
We're almost at like a decade now.
There you go.
Yeah,
right?
it's gonna be crazy.
Get this guy some tenure, eh?
Yeah. Give me a silver stick.
There you go.
1,000 games,
There you
1,000
go.
podcasts.
Boom. Hopefully we'll reach 1,000 podcasts here one day. You started at Bar Down, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, like it's weird. Like TSN and Bar Down are kind of the same, so we like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did that start out? Because did that start right into like when you were like growing up? Were you always like, I want to do something in hockey? Were you somewhere else before and it kind of made that transition into Bar Down? Like, how'd that whole journey happen? Because I feel like with all these hockey creators that aren't players, for example, because obviously you have a playing career, you move into social media if you want to, but the people that weren't players and just find their way into the hockey space, it's always some sort of coincidence. Like you take the chances when they come to you.
Yeah,
like, what's your story? How'd you get involved?
Depends how much detail you want.
Dude, we got time. I don't know about you, but I'm good to cook here.
Yeah, I mean, like if the short version of it is realistically that like, I went to school for architecture originally, wasn't good at that. Switched to like
What school, if you don't mind me asking?
Carleton,
Okay.
and then I switched to communications and like just did that and kind of like some journalism stuff, and then went through that. Graduated. I worked at like a marketing firm for a bit. It was like the weirdest job where I like ran.
Not
like,
ideal.
Well, it was just like funny. I ran a bunch of accounts for like Hakeem Optical and like Longos. And,
Like fuck this shit. I want to work in hockey, dude.
No, I mean like whatever. It was fun. I loved all the people I worked with. And it was just like, but I was all, and everyone there knew like I always wanted to work in hockey, and that kind of came from this guy. I used to work at Sport Check, and then I worked at Pro Hockey Life, and there was a guy that I worked with at Sport Check who is now a baseball agent, and he was like drafted to the MLB, and then we always used to like shoot the shit and just like I don't know, we're working our shift, we're putting sticks away or something, and then we just kind of say like, okay, like let's just name Raptors until we can, or let's name like Blue Jays players, or
your trivia mind was starting to
circulate.
circulate.
Yeah, well, I've always just loved stuff like that and like doing Sporkle and all those different things. So, and then when he found out I was going to architecture, he was like, why? I was like,
This makes no fucking sense, kid.
Yeah, I was like, what? Like, why do you want to do that? And then I was like, damn, like that honestly like planted a seed in me where I was like, damn, yeah, I don't know why I want to do this.
Yeah.
And it was because like, I don't know, in
I
Canada,
went to school for engineering.
Yeah, okay,
So,
exactly, yeah.
University of
So
Toronto.
you know.
So it's the same shit where it's like, fuck, like we know this pays some bills, but like, are we gonna be happy here?
Yeah, well,
You know what
but I mean, like engineering still, it's one of those things where like you get an engineering degree and everybody just knows you're smart no matter what. So,
I'm
you're
the
coming
biggest
into any
schmuck
job.
you'll meet. Like, book smart is a different story, but
Those are the best people. Book smart, and
Exactly.
if you can just be like casually naive, then I think that's nice sometimes. I
Yeah.
think that's a nice person to be around. So I'm happy to be here.
So what about like the architect? Like, how does architecture turn into Bar Down? You know what I mean?
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, so that's where I started at, and then once I got out of like this marketing firm, I'd almost given up. Honestly, I was like applying. The one like there was I at one point had applied for like an internship at the Score, and I like was so I thought I was gonna get it for sure because I went like so above and beyond. I basically a friend of mine had like a Score baseball hat that like it was their logo on a baseball hat. I like got that, went out to a baseball diamond, did like a photo shoot to like create a baseball card that I photoshopped and then put my whole resume on the back of it.
Jesus.
And like made that.
This guy's thinking outside the box. Holy
It was
fuck.
crazy. I did all this stuff and then I had my resume. I sent it in for the internship thing and then I went into their office, brought it in person, didn't even get a call back. Like it was crazy. It was, and I don't think like it was. That's nobody's fault. And
No,
like,
of course.
I think the Score does a great job. And like, there's nothing. I don't think it was anything personal. I think
It's like, what more could I have fucking done? You know what
yeah,
I mean?
and like stuff just slips through the cracks sometimes. That like, and I'm sure it did, or maybe I had a bunch of spelling errors on my resume or something. Like you never know, right? So I mean, I thought I'd given up, and then a friend of mine, Sam, who you would know from some of the. Like bar down content. He's in quizzes and just a bunch of the stuff. He's a big bearded fella that doesn't know much about hockey trivia.
Yeah.
But he worked at TSN before me. I'd known him from university and just friends of friends. And we always had a great time together. And then I was writing a blog at the time, sent it to him. He then eventually sent it to a guy that was kind of his boss, Dave Crixt, who is the one that actually started Bar Down.
Yeah, I know Dave too, yeah.
Yeah, so he was the one that I had an interview with him. And then that's pretty normal. Like a lot of people interview with him and a lot of people talk to him. And like, and then so there was nothing really there at the moment. But once a month, I kind of just set like something in my mind to be like, once a month, I'm going to email and just like say like, hey, what's up? Check in. Like, and whatever. And then like after 9 months, I think there were some layoffs and then they're like, hey, we're kind of on a hiring freeze right now. And I was like, damn, yeah. Like I just don't think this is going to work out.
Yeah.
And then 9 months later, out of the blue, they just emailed me and like, hey, still interested? And then took it and ran.
Yeah, fucking right. That I feel like that everyone I talk to, like including me, it's one of those where it's just like an opportunity just comes out of nowhere. You don't think you're just a fan. You don't think you're gonna do anything hockey related.
Yeah, of course.
And all of a sudden something just pops up and you're like, this is probably my only chance to seize the moment. You know what I mean?
But I mean, like now more than ever, like you have more power as like as a fan, as someone who's not at TSN, at like Bar Down, or at any of these media companies that like. They obviously still like having budget and having access to athletes is massive, but being able to make your own videos that are kind of going to blow up at any time on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram is like such a game changer for a lot of that. Where like when I started, it would have been like 2016. And so like TikTok wasn't a thing, or I don't know, maybe it was Musically and the people were dancing on it or
Vine,
something.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
All that shit, yeah.
Yeah, it was like probably just after Vine, and then Instagram was like mainly photos, like not a ton of video, definitely not like an Instagram reel or something.
No, yeah, we were not doom scrolling reels. Yeah, that wasn't happening.
Yeah, YouTube was a thing, but
not shorts though.
Yeah,
it was just straight fucking long form.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Hey,
it worked out for you.
Long form. Yeah,
it worked
exactly.
out for you.
It was good timing, honestly.
And how does that transition? Like, obviously, Bar Down, you're not with them anymore. Now you're with Bauer.
Yeah.
How did that transition kind of happen? And like, talk to me about life right now with Bauer. It seems like I see like the big YouTube landscape is like kind of like those 20 verse ones, and like Guess Who is like the goalie or whatever it is, and you guys are getting involved in that in the hockey space, which is great because those are viral videos in the mainstream media, and to bring the hockey perspective into that is huge. So walk me through like life in Bauer and how you're liking it there.
Yeah, it's been unreal. I mean, like I obviously sometimes I say like obviously I miss the squad at Bar Down. I love them, and we're still very close. And I play on the beer league team and stuff like that. But it just kind of was an opportunity that came up. We'd actually worked together a bunch, like me, Bar Down and Bauer through the years, and I was pretty close to some of the people that worked there. And it's just they eventually kind of went on a way where they started thinking more about YouTube and wanted to do more YouTube stuff.
Which is smart, which is huge.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah, and
it's a lot of pull.
And it's massive because like it's a pretty brave thing for brands to do. Like not a lot of people are doing it, and like as like I think obviously there's more and more and more every year, but yeah, it was definitely like a big step for them, and I'm sure there was a lot of internal conversations about like really this is the guy we're going with, but we're there,
and they didn't look back, baby.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
they found the fucking guy.
It's been great. So I mean, the one thing is like obviously. Access to athletes is like crazy, like where
dude, that's huge.
Yeah, well, they're like, and obviously, and they're a lot of the times they're awesome, and they're so happy to kind of do this stuff. Obviously, they have usually great relationships with Bauer, and they've kind of grown up with it. They're like, because when these guys start getting equipment things, it's like
They kind of pick their side early.
Yeah, they're like 15 and like 14, and then like so a lot of these people that are helping them like are with them from the start and like kind of helping them trying to grind through the toughest parts of their career to really make it that next step. So I think they're usually pretty appreciative, and they're always happy to be there, and just it makes for great content.
And it's cool too. Like when you're at that young age, if you're like at that elite level, like you're not paying for your sticks and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like at one point you start getting, like, I know my buddy, he was goaltender through the ranks, and I know some kids because I'm involved in a lot of youth tournaments with like the appearances and stuff like that. And I know all the top guys, they're getting their shit for free now. So if you build that bond with those kind of youth athletes at a young age, they're likely going to stick with you when they're in their pro years. So it's fucking smart from these fucking, when they pick their sides early, right? So it's the loyalty factor. Speaking of loyalty factor, we're going to get into if Matthews is going to be loyal a bit later on with the Leafs. But we're going to get there. But you talk about players that you've talked to, like you've interacted with, you have the access to them, whether it's through Bar Down, whether it's through Bauer, who are like the biggest gems. I know they're all gems, but like who are like the biggest gems where you're like,
you're gonna love
that
this.
guy was a fucking beauty.
You're gonna
because
love
my guys Draisaitl had a beer with Draisaitl. That was one of my top 5 beers in a previous episode. But that was when it was All-Star Weekend in Toronto. Also had a beer with Swayman, All-Star Week in Toronto.
Here we go.
So those two guys are like...
What, they were just around or like...
Well, there was a kind of like a Sports Illustrated, what's it called? Like All-Star, like pre-All-Star Weekend event.
And a couple athletes come out to it.
At Liberty Grand, right?
Yeah.
And like I got VIP access because I do some stuff with the Sports Illustrated tournaments, right?
Yeah.
So I went upstairs and I'm just like, I'm with my buddy and I'm like, dude, that's Leon. Like, the guy is wider than a bus, by the way. Like, he looks it on the ice, but in real life, it's not the padding. I'll tell you that for sure.
That's like, if you've never seen an NHL player in real life, like the first...
Jaw-dropping, bro.
Yeah, because they're just like thick. And
they're huge,
it's
man.
insane. Like, they're like... The craziest one that like really... I don't know. One of the ones that really blew my mind was I was in Montreal for the Stanley Cup final when it was like COVID year. Yeah, and
I was there.
And I was at the Ritz-Carlton like lobby, and someone just walked by, didn't even recognize him at first, and it was literally like I'm sitting here like kind of looking down at my phone or something. Somebody walks right here, so you kind of see the bottom half of their body. Yeah, and I was just like, that's an NHL player for sure. like the how
it's probably
big
Eric Chernak, that fucking unit or someone like that.
It was Jonathan Marchessault, and so he
his
the guy's
legs,
like 5'8". Yeah, but no, his legs are
Trunks?
enormous. Like so, and that's the thing that like I always find like they're just beasts.
Yeah.
And especially obviously once they've been in the years they've been in the league for a couple of years, and
like Marty St. Louis, fucking his legs too, for example. But he does stairs every practice, right? But going back to players, like you said, I'm gonna like this.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm hoping this is a Montreal guy.
I love all the Montreal guys, honestly. They're so nice. Like Cole Caulfield is like just lights up the room.
I don't think Bro has ever stopped smiling.
Yeah, he's just like the best guy ever, and like I feel like anybody you meet in hockey will say the same thing. Like he's just the best. Like he's so nice to everybody, and just has a blast wherever he is. He like makes it funner for everyone else. Like you talk about like Sidney Crosby making everybody better on the ice. Like Cole Caulfield makes everybody better off the ice. You know? Like
that's fucking and better on the ice too.
Of course,
fucking Suzuki is fucking apples too at the same and Hudson.
But that's the thing. Yeah, I love like even the Hudson, the whole Hudson family. Like they're the best.
You met them?
Yeah, I met their dad, and then like Lane, Quinn, Cole. I haven't met Lars yet, but Lars is the fourth one, who's apparently nasty too. So
they're all fucking nasty.
They're ridiculous. So I mean, I'm just shouting out Habs players. At this point.
I fucking love it, actually.
Yeah, they're all great.
So we're talking Habs.
Yeah.
The playoff picture is looking pretty fucking good on my side. It's not looking the best on your side now.
It's not looking as good as it was looking.
Pre-Olympic break, everyone's like, they might be buyers, but all of a sudden, who the fuck are we selling? We got to sell the farm. But
or wait, who?
The Leafs.
Don't. Okay, what are we talking about first? Do you want to talk about the Leafs?
I'm talking about my side and your side. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little bit of across Canada tour right now.
Okay. Yeah.
On the current state of the teams, where they're at right now, and where we could expect them to go.
Yeah.
So right now we have, as we can see on the screen right there, we have the Habs in the first wildcard spot, 75 points. Pretty comfortable, but the way kind of how close and how like I don't know what the word they use right now, fluid the fucking Eastern Conference is in terms of wild card race.
Yeah.
Like
But they got games in hand too, right? Like 3 games in hand on Washington.
But no one is safe is the point right now, at least, right? Like, I know everyone buried the Senators early in the year, for example, but they're only like 5 or 6 points out right now. Anything can fucking happen. In terms of the grand scheme picture, because we're going to circle to every team and kind of what they should do next or what their current state of their team is. In terms of the Habs, like, where's your mindset at with them? I'm going to start with them just because I'm the biggest Glazer of the Habs.
Yeah, I think they're great. I think they're a lock for the playoffs. Like I wouldn't be worried at all.
Okay. And their goaltending doesn't scare you a bunch, or?
I'd love to see Jacob Fowler come back. Like,
man,
he's the best. That's man. If I was gonna shout out, there's so many good guys. Bro. There's so many good guys, but like Jacob Fowler is another just like. But again, now just shouting out another Habs player who's just like such a good guy.
Florida kid too, eh? So it's weird how Buddy's kind of come through the ranks and he's the next savior of the Habs between the pipes. So we're keeping Habs as a lock. I'm assuming.
I think so. I think like if I was to say of all the Canadian teams. I'm thinking through right now.
Well, the only Canadian teams in playoff spots right now are the Oilers and the Habs.
Yeah, like I think they are the most sure team to be in a playoff spot of all Canadian teams.
Which is crazy because all the odds before the season had them hovering around that like kind of they had them projected to have the same amount of points this year as they did last year. And this year that would not have been enough. This year 91 points is what I think what they got last year, something around there. Yeah. Mid-90s maybe. That's not. I don't think that's going to get you in. I think you need upper 90s this year.
Yeah, especially in the East for sure.
It's going to be a fucking race. And what's crazy is if the Leafs were in the Oilers division, the Leafs would be in a playoff spot.
Yeah.
So let's go to the Oilers next then, which behind the scenes there, it's you're going to scroll all the way down to the West, to the wild card of the West. A little more down, a little more down. There you go. So right now, for the people listening, we're currently looking at the standings.
The Leafs would not be in his playoff spot. The Leafs have 64 points.
Well, they'd be right on the hump. So we're looking at the Oilers, who are second wild card in the West with 66 points, only above of San Jose, who's 4 points back of the Oil. There's clearly a lot of fucking noise around the Oil, and if they should go and acquire another goalie. They just got Murphy from the Blackhawks for a second-round pick.
They should absolutely be getting another goalie. They should trade Toronto first-round pick for one of our goalies.
For Stoli or Wall?
Stoli.
Okay.
I want to keep Wall.
You like Wall. Okay, I got you. But in terms of just, and I think we could probably just go right in there now. I had it for later on in the pod, but we could just dive right in. Did you hear about Draisaitl's quotes pre-Olympics and post-Olympics?
No. What?
So pretty much he was saying...
or maybe I did, but yeah, add some here. Yeah,
I'll quote him right now. Producer Matt, thank you for the quotes. Just always shout out Producer Matt, even though he's probably two-handing a guy right now. So Draisaitl pre-Olympics said, "I think there are saves our goalies need to make at some point." So we always know how Draisaitl is a bit nippy with the media, right?
Yeah.
Then he says,
"Why are you so pissy, Leon?"
Yeah, why are you so pissy?
yeah.
Which is crazy because he's so fucking nice in real life.
Yeah. He seems like a gem.
And then he said, "It starts with the coaches. You're never going to win if you have 4 or 5 guys going, and it starts at the top. We can be better." Then he said, post-Olympics, he circled back on those comments because obviously he was probably a bit hot considering the state of the team before the Olympic break. They come back and they're like, "Okay, Leon, we're giving you a chance to apologize, for lack of a better term, if you want to walk back your comments."
Yeah.
Because usually the media gives the guys opportunity to do that if they say something about out of pocket. Draisaitl goes on and says, "We just have to be better. I stick to what I said. It starts at the top. It goes all the way down, not trying to throw anyone under the bus. If I'm throwing anyone under the bus, I'm throwing myself first."
Yeah.
Which is kind of a save, but it's clear
when
that...
you think about it, it's him and Connor at the top, really. So you can say the coach, whatever, but like those are the two guys.
I know. And it's clear, they're not happy with the state of the team. And Connor committed to giving them another couple years to try to get them that fucking cup. But it just doesn't seem like we could all look back at this in a couple of months and the Oilers can be in the Stanley Cup final again.
Yeah, like I'm not worried about them at all either, honestly. Like,
really?
Like no, I don't like even goaltending is just whatever. It's gonna go up and down all the time. But like, do you remember like
it's been straight down though?
Was it last year or 2 years ago that they had like one of the most horrendous starts to a season anyone's like of especially like a Stanley Cup contender, and then they were just flying, and then they made the Stanley Cup final, and like I think. They're such a good team, and they just have so many good players that like they will be fine and they'll make the playoffs. And from there, it's like.
Do you think they're as good this year though as they were in the previous years when they went to the final? I don't think they are. That's why it's kind of tricky. Like right now, they would play correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're going to play like Anaheim in the first round. Like, do you take them over Anaheim, for example?
No, they wouldn't play Anaheim, would they? They'd probably play Colorado right now.
Check. You want to scroll up there, Wahib? Oh no! If okay, so Seattle has overtaken them, so they would be playing Colorado.
Yeah, they play Colorado.
Oh, that's a fucking match made in heaven. Scroll up a bit.
Yeah, the West is a bit of a nightmare this year. Like,
the Oilers need that second or third spot in the Pacific. They don't want to go against one of the juggernauts, which is the Stars or the Avs.
Definitely not. Yeah.
Okay, but you're confident that they'll get in.
I think they'll get in for sure.
Okay, Celebrini's making a fucking push. That's why we ask.
I love. Yeah, I mean, the Sharks are so fun. I really hope they make it. Yeah. It's tough. I actually think there's like so many fun teams this year, and
so many interchangeable too, like Utah, Seattle, Edmonton, San Jose, Nashville's starting to come out of fucking nowhere too. But Kings get a new coach, so anything's possible. We're gonna switch gears to the Sens. So if you want to scroll back up there to the east, where we see the Ottawa Senators, there we go. For the Sens, what's your vibe on them? Obviously, they laid a beating on your Leafs the other night. Goaltending's been the issue so far this season. Where do you see the current state of their team, and do you see them potentially making it into the postseason?
I unfortunately don't think they will make it. I actually think they're kind of nasty, and like I think that's one of those teams that if they do happen to sneak in, I would hate to play them as one of the top seeds in the East. Mm-hmm. But I just think they're just too far down right now. And I think to make up all those points on all the teams that are also ahead of them already and
they're all playing good.
Yeah. And
no one's really slacking right now, is my point.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's kind of been the East this year. Like, you've seen all the stuff about like how the East has just been beaten up on the West, because obviously the bottom teams in the West are kind of
not that great.
Yeah, exactly. So I do think they're a really good team. I just don't think, again, their goaltending has been pretty tough this season, and I don't know. I don't think that there's enough time to really make up that gap.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with that. Kind of too little, too late scenario.
Yeah.
The Jets. So obviously, as Canadians,
the Jets are not making it.
Obviously, as Canadians, Hellebuck is invisible. I think he's winless this season in 3-on-3 for the Jets. But as soon as Buddy plays Team Canada in the Olympics at 3-on-3, he'll secure a W. But Jets, is it time to sell the farm? Shout out Jesse for this one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think, I don't know, there's a lot of teams that I don't think need to fully sell, because Winnipeg's one of those teams that they have a lot of guys locked up for a while. And
thinking Boston Bruins it, just rebuild on the fly, retool kind of thing.
Yeah. And even I think of the way Dallas is and the way that they had a couple down years, and you think of how Sagan and Ben just kind of transitioned into more of their veteran players that are going to play anywhere in the lineup and just still contribute, while the new era of players of stars on the team, really stars, I don't mean actual stars, but superstar players that I just think that's a better way for them to go about it, especially they have a tougher time attracting free agents and things like that. So I think there's no reason to give up on. You have a pretty good roster. They were pretty incredible
pretty good core.
The last 2 years.
Just aging, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's why we ask those questions. They kind of over, in my opinion, whenever I look at the Jets, the past couple of years, they're always top of the division or top of the conference, whatever it may be. And I'm always how the fuck do they keep doing this? And they still keep doing it. But this year, different story. So
yeah, it just hasn't worked out. I mean, losing Ehlers was a big loss. He's an incredible player, and I think that's a tough one. I think they just got to continue to draft well, I would say especially, definitely this year, trade a couple assets, get some stuff to just bring some new energy into the team. And I think they've got the pieces that they can get back pretty quickly, but definitely I don't think they're going to be anywhere near the playoffs this year.
If they want to give the Habs Velarde, I wouldn't mind, but we're gonna.
I hope they win some games. Is the one thing, because I want them to pass the Leafs. So.
The Jets?
Yeah.
Why do you? Oh, for draft purposes?
Yeah, we need that pick.
And that's what we're gonna get into, because obviously we know we're not gonna talk about the playoff picture with the Flames and the Canucks, because we both know that the likes of Kadri, Pettersson, it's kind of like a rebuild situation over there. So we know they're not knocking on the door right now in terms of playoffs, but maybe in a couple of years when they're retooled or rebuilded, then we could circle back on those guys. But in terms of playoff pictures, in terms of the Leafs, I got a lot of stuff here on the Leafs.
Yeah.
I got a lot.
Hey.
I know you're a Leafs fan, so and I know you know a lot about them too. So obviously, right now we are recording this full transparency on a Tuesday. This is likely going out on Thursday, just FYI.
Yeah.
For everyone's viewing pleasure, you'll see it then. But in terms of the Leafs, season so far, there are 55 games, 26. Whoa. Oh, no, we're talking. Oh, I'm completely off here. This is Matthews' stats. Never mind. Leafs right now. Never mind. Thank you, producer Matt, for the stats, but I'm saying the wrong thing. So 27, 24, and 10, 64 points in 61 games for the Leafs. They're outside of a playoff spot, and they are way behind on the Bruins. I think it's 7 points back of the Bruins. So
with 2 more games played too.
There you go. Okay, there you go. Even more context for you, which makes that hill even larger to climb. So the gap could be as much as 11. In terms of the Leafs, we're going to stay with Matthews. We're going to start with the topic of Matthews. 55 games played, 51 points, 26 goals. He is not 69-goal Matthews anymore. And we're going to start hard out the gate here. Stay or go before the end of his contract.
For who?
Matt's.
No, I know, but like who's am I saying for?
Like, is Matthews going to be sticking around with the Leafs, or do you think he's going to be dealt before the end?
I don't think you deal a player like that. I think like he's incredible. I honestly I think people are too hard on him at times, just because like.
Well, I wonder why.
Yeah,
market, right?
Yeah, of course. So we're always pretty hard on the players, and it's just like one of those times where I also think you're just at the hardest point of a team's cycle, where because like I think obviously he's come up through it all, where you have the super exciting part of where like you guys are kind of in it now with the Habs in the past couple of years, where it's just like it's all potential, it's all excitement, and then once you get into the playoffs and then you start grinding through that, it's like, okay, well now we need to start seeing some results, and then when that hasn't come, it's just like it's a really tough time to be in this market, I think. But I think everything he's ever said has always been super positive about being Toronto, and I don't think they would have any reason to want to move him. So
what's interesting is there's already odds on betting platforms of which team is most likely to get him by Friday.
Yeah,
which is absurd. Like, he's not going anywhere, at least right now, not before the trade deadline. That's for sure. If he goes
hammer
anywhere,
the stay, like whatever. If there's an option of stay and it's like minus 5,000, hammer that.
The most favorite option apparently was the LA Kings, which I guess with JB, like I guess that's his buddy, right? So maybe a reunion with JB. But anyways, hypotheticals. We're only talking hypotheticals here because obviously I think he's going to stick out the remainder of his contract.
Yeah.
But what do you think it would take for the Leafs to even consider moving him? Like, what would the package even have to look like for it to be worth it for them?
It's the type of package that every single fan base is going to go, no. Like genuinely, every single fan base will be like,
you can't win.
You'd love Matthews, and then you hear what it'll cost, and it'll be like, oh, absolutely not. And then because every fan is obsessed with their own assets, and like of course, for years I thought. I don't know who's a good Leafs example that I don't know, for years. Like, I actually really like Nick Robertson as a player, and I think he's been done a little dirty by the team, he's never really been given a proper shot. But think about like Nick Robertson, we were all like, oh, he's like going to be a 40 goal scorer and all these things, and I think everybody gets obsessed with their own prospects and they see the potential there, and like that will always hinder a fan's point to like what they would give up. So like if I'm talking Matthews, I think you're getting a very good NHL player, probably 2 top prospects and like 2 firsts.
Okay.
And like you're at the point where it like significantly affects your team.
Yeah, like if you do that, it's a clear rebuild. Like, it's not even a question. There's
for the Leafs, or but yeah, for sure. I mean, but even for the other team, like if you're trying to compete, and it's like, okay, so who would be a good example? Like if you're name a team that you think would want to trade for Matthews.
Sharks, Kings, Ducks.
Yeah, so are the Sharks going to give up
Misa,
Will Smith
or Misa? Yeah.
Yeah, and
even then, like the Sharks will probably be like, fuck, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? But then that's what it's going to take
because you
to
have
get
a plan,
him out of town.
and you're trying to you're working towards something, and why are you trying to change it so significantly all of a sudden? I'd argue because you're going for a generational player, but it's tough. It's a hard thing, and like obviously,
Like I feel like with the Kings too, like that conversation doesn't even start unless you're including someone like Kempe. You know what I mean?
Byfield,
Byfield, and like a bunch of fucking firsts. Brant Clark, fucking.
Oh yeah.
Who else? Like Carter George. Like I
Keep
guess
naming them.
maybe.
Keep
Like
going.
I don't know. You know
Hampton
what
Slakinski. Like it's just you're gonna need the whole farm.
I mean? Yeah, like and some.
Yeah.
And some. In terms of Berube and Tree Living,
Yeah.
they're obviously getting a lot of heat.
Yeah.
I don't know how justified the heat is, especially on Berube's side, because we've seen with coaches in the past where it's like they've done the Babcock experiment, they've done the Keefe experiment, now they're on the Berube experiment. When they hired Berube, I was shitting bricks because I'm like, this guy's done it with St. Louis.
Yeah.
He could ream into the Leafs. They could fucking probably go far, and they almost did with at least on the brink with the Panthers, who took them to Game 7, of course. But in terms of Berube, obviously he had the comments the other day about Hart and Head. I'm assuming we've all seen that. What'd you make of those comments? And is he kind of talking his way out of town, or is he just being extra hard on the guys?
I think he's just trying stuff. I think like as a coach, like I heard Bruce Boudreau talking about this the other day, I think on like Overdrive or something, where he was just saying like, as a coach, every day, you're constantly thinking about like, what can I do? How can I change this? How can I do better? How can I do this? And like, you're going to try everything all the time. And especially in a slump like this, where like, I'm sure in some ways he feels the heat, and like, it's obviously always kind of a win now market that's super focused on that. I don't personally feel like that right now. I don't
think anyone can.
Yeah. Well, no, I more just mean like, I'm like lose at this point, like as a team. And I don't think any player or coach or anyone would ever think that way. But as a team, I think the best thing they
makes more
could
sense
do
to lose
is
now and regroup next year
by like easily. Cause even now, like they're just not, they're not the best version of what they've been in the past, 8 years. And like, I think they clearly need to rethink some stuff there and just rework the team a bit and hopefully get some guys healthy. Like, I think like a massive loss, I honestly think our best defenseman is Chris Tanev. And like to him to get knocked out that early in the season and just season ending injury was pretty devastating for that team. And like, I think you just got to kind of re-up next year and hope that you can kind of fix a couple gaps. And again, I'd love just have everybody come in super healthy. I know they've talked all year kind of about Nyes having some knocks, that he's takes a couple games off or takes some practices off or different things like that. That like, I think get everybody healthy, come back next year, I think retool. And obviously if you can then sell some assets, get some more picks in there, get some more prospects, get a bit younger blood in there. Like my biggest issue with the Leafs for the past like 10 years has been that I feel like they give a lot of players, they sign all these guys to like third or fourth line contracts where they
moves.
No, but not even that. It's more like they kind of, but it's like they'll sign a guy for $2 to $3 million a year for 5 years that fills up a spot that like when Alex Steves or Carter Verhaeghe or Mason Marchment or Trevor Moore, and there's like all these different guys that like they are good quality NHLers, and they turn out into like, I don't know if there's a good NHL term for it. For baseball, you call it like a quadruple A player. Okay. But it's like they're too good for the minors now. And like they should not be playing there. Yeah. And like right now I think of like Jacob Quillian, like he's the college kid that they got last year, plays with Marlies, and he's like lighting it up. Yeah. And like he should just be playing with his team.
Would you put Cowan in that category, or you think he's...
Oh, he should be playing way more. Like, it's insane that, like, a player of that quality you're scratching when...
Well, I don't get the message you're sending there. That's like... I'm not a Leafs guy. Yeah. But obviously, I live in Toronto, so I see...
Yeah, you see all of it. Yeah, 100%.
I was at the games. I'm going to go at the game against the Lightning on Saturday, so I'm witnessing all this. I'm just scratching my head for you guys.
Yeah, and everybody's got an opinion, too, and, like, there's certain moves that, like, maybe people liked at times that are... They're turning around now and saying like how bad they were, and like it's an interesting time. I think it's just, but the best thing that they could do right now is lose.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at the grand scheme of the Atlantic Division, like you got teams, Montreal obviously is on the up, Detroit on the up.
Yeah.
Tampa is still Tampa. Florida, they come back next year healthy, they could win another fucking cup. We don't know.
Easily.
We got the Senators, who right now, if you have to pick one of the Leafs or the Sens to start your franchise, I think you might pick the Sens. It's a really deep, and the Sabres, I didn't even fucking mention this team
on a heater
with the way they're playing right now. They could win the fucking cup. So what do you think the Leafs have to do to stay relevant in the Atlantic? Because they got to make up some serious ground.
Yeah, I think it's retool. I think like you got to this trade deadline's super important for them. I would say if I was going into the end of this year, the ideal scenario that they could come out with is get their pick back. So which is basically that if they finish in the bottom 5 or not even necessarily finish, if their pick ends up in the bottom 5, that's perfect.
Yeah, because otherwise,
you
man,
need that.
Is that
like,
the Fraser Minton one or the Carlo?
It's the same trade.
True.
So they gave up Fraser
forgot,
Minton and this pick for Carlo.
Oh man.
So I think out of the assets that you have, ideally you're trying to get probably 2 firsts back and a couple other picks, prospects, things like that, and in some way make sure you keep that pick this year. Which is why I say the
lose, man.
Yeah, and like I'm looking at teams. There's like like honestly, how I look at the standings right now, I'm not even considering the playoffs at this point. I'm just looking at it. Done. And again, like I said, I don't think a player or anybody would ever think like that. They're all obviously going to try to win no matter what all the time, and I think that's what you would want from players.
Like that.
But if you're just purely looking at the future of this team as a fan, then I think you're thinking like, okay, well, yeah, if we can get below San Jose, Nashville, Winnipeg's a far one. I don't like you'd need Hellebuck to go on a tear and like, but
it's not
I think
that far off if they pick up a couple wins here and there. But yeah, I see what you
mean.
Yeah,
the Devils, you want to get below the Devils. I think like the Devils, that's the toughest one. Like it'll be such a shame.
You're not catching the Rangers.
I know.
The Rangers are a lost fucking cause.
Yeah,
right now.
well, because they're selling everybody too. Like if they get rid of Adam Fox, that's like the one thing I would accept. like because you saw
the
like
Matthews package.
No.
Oh, I was gonna say, there's no way you're taking Fox for Matthews in a package.
No, I more just meant that like because people talked about like the Robert Thomas thing and like it was kind of odd that the Leafs were like kicking tires on Robert Thomas. Yeah, well, like that's what the rumor was at least, and like people were like, that's ridiculous. Like 1, who are they going to give up for that? And 2, like is that the right time for them to be doing that? But like there's certain players that I think are of a quality that like it's worth a buy low if you can, and like like if it's a Jordan Kyrou or Robert Thomas or an Adam Fox, I mean if you can get one of those guys on your team, the Leafs haven't had a true number 1 defenseman for a long time, and
we thought Riley was the guy for quite a bit. So who do you think are the players that might potentially be out the door come Friday? Like I know we have is it the likes of Roy, like however people like to say his name. Is it Lawton? Ekman Larson. I know they said he hasn't even been approached yet about a trade.
Yeah, I haven't I have no insider information for any of this stuff, but
just
like
opinion.
Yeah, from my side of like what makes the most sense to try to get good assets back is like Carlo, Oliver Ekman Larson, Bobby McMahon. Forwards, like I don't know, like again,
Lawton. I feel
Lawton. I just
with the minutes he's getting, I don't think he'll come back. Is my thing.
Really, I feel like they like him, and he's a Toronto guy. I don't know. I could kind of see that still happening. If if they're not close to an extension, then yeah, for sure. I think then make the deal. But those are kind of the guys that make the most sense, at least if you're trying to get assets back for sure.
Okay. That was the Leafs.
Oh, goalies too. I would probably trade a goalie. Like I said,
I've been saying this. Like, he'll to be solid enough to be your fucking backup.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you get rid of.
I would trade Stolars. Yeah.
And that guy's calling his shots. Like as soon as he's back from injury, I'm fucking playing. So good for him for knowing his fucking worth. But they gave him quite a decent ticket to right when he. This is the first year of his new contract, no? Or?
Yeah, but it's a good value. Like if I was if I was the Edmonton Oilers, that seems like a great deal. I don't think they're looking to give up anything else for a goalie now. Like from everything that you're seeing out there, that's pretty much they're sticking with it. So
what would you take for Stolarz? Is he first round material?
On a first, yeah.
Oh fuck, okay, I like that. And we're just gonna leave it with these 2 questions about Canadian teams. And then we're gonna kind of move on to bigger and better things. So. I want your answers on these 2 things. What's the best Canadian team right now?
Probably the Oilers still.
Still the Oilers?
Yeah.
Okay. Just because they're capable of winning a cup right now.
Yeah. Like they just, they have 2 of the top 5 players in the world, and Evan Bouchard probably isn't too far behind.
Yeah.
Like in terms of maybe probably a top 25 player in the world. And then, and like, Jari and the
fuck, imagine if they had Binnington, man. That's my thing. Like,
But I don't even know. Like again, like
you don't know how
he's had a tough
I
year
know.
in the NHL.
Just
like
a
obviously
gamer.
he was great. Yeah, exactly. When it matters, he clearly shows up. But
That's why you get that guy in a playoff series, like coin flip. I don't know.
I feel like I could say that about every goalie in the league.
Fair. Skinner gave him a couple runs, right? So
Yeah.
next Canadian team to win the cup.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
No way, this guy. You know what? I like it. He's loyal. I was Habs hunting there, if anyone couldn't tell.
Yeah.
I was kind of Habs fishing. Okay, so we are gonna move. Obviously, there's a big debate. There's a lot of sick players in the league right now.
Yeah.
Got Macklin kicking tires. Kucherov, after a shitty start, for lack of a better term, he's all of a sudden pumping out points for fun. We know Nate. We know Davo. We know Leon. All of a sudden, Schaefer's in the fucking mix for
God, he's
one
unbelievable.
20-goal season and an
Yeah.
18-year-old. And he's season's not done yet. We still got pretty much quarter of the season left. Hart Trophy. If you
Yeah.
had to pick someone right now, who's the guy that's taking the Hart home? So we have, just for context,
Yeah.
we have McDavid, 103 points.
Yeah. I
We
mean,
have-
I'm gonna have a boring answer. I feel like.
Oh fuck. Okay. Well, let me read these out
Yeah,
first,
yeah.
just so everyone knows. Let me build it up. We have Nate Dogg 99, Kucherov after an invisible starts at 95 already.
Yeah.
Celebrini's at 83.
Yeah.
And then I know Schaefer, he's not even favorite to win the Norris right now. It's Werenski. But with the season he's putting together, if the Islanders make the playoffs, it's pretty much all Schaefer. Same with Celebrini.
I can't believe you. I
So-
love Matthew Schaefer.
So there
throwing
you go.
him in the Hart conversation is
I
crazy.
mean, what is the definition? It's the most valuable player to your team.
Yeah, so like that's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna give a boring answer because it's like, in my opinion, we get too bored as
And we pick something rogue.
Yeah, because like, oh, we got to do something different. But at the end, Connor McDavid should end his career with like
20.
8 Hart trophies. Like
Yeah.
he is so disgusting and genuinely like the most gifted hockey player of all time. He deserves more Hart trophies. And
Yeah.
like we get, but like obviously
Spread the
there's,
wealth kinda
like, but like
mentality.
McKinnon's been good and like Hellebuck was incredible last year. And so there's like reasons that, and like obviously Matthews had that one disgusting season. And there's been a bunch of people that have also kind of like popped up at different times, but it's like,
So
I think we can all agree for the last, what is it? Probably 9 years.
Where
Connor
he's-
McDavid
each of those 9
has
years,
been,
he's had 100 points. So
yeah, Connor McDavid has been the best player in the world and deserves to be recognized for that, especially if he finishes the league with the most points. And yeah,
So what if Celebrini wills the Sharks into the playoffs? Is he automatically runner-up? Or is he? Do you think there's a chance Celebrini gets it, or it's always just Davo, straight Davo?
probably get some votes. Like you think of the Taylor Hall year of when they.
That's wild,
'cause,
eh?
Like him winning just how that all happened, and obviously like he was an incredible player that year, and like people always reference the big difference is like, oh, your points to the next closest person on your team, and
Yeah.
which I understand. And for, like you said, in terms of definition of most valuable, yeah, you can change a lot around there. But for me, yeah, I think
Always and forever Davo.
well, not just always him, but I just mean
This
like
year.
it should just. I don't get caught up in as much of like what is value, and it's more like the most valuable is the best player in the world, and when I think of value, I think like is okay, well, what would you give up for that guy? And
Yeah.
like, that's value. That's like this guy is worth the most in the league because he's the best player in the league.
I know we already talked about potential like trade deals for Matthews, obviously hypotheticals, but let's say it does get ugly with the Oilers closer to the end of his contract. I don't even want to know what the fuck that package looks like. Like we're gonna get to some Sid stuff later on too, where we could do some speculation there. But Davo's you have to sell half your fucking team at that point.
The Habs fans bringing up Sid leaving when they're like second in their
Hell
division.
yeah! Hell yeah! You know what? We know it gets the engagement going here. Playoffs, obviously, we already talked a bit about them, but we only talked about Canadian teams.
Yeah.
There's always a dark horse
Yeah.
every postseason. Who are your dark horses on kind of either side on the West and the East? Like, I look at the Panthers. If they get in, fuck, they could win. Like, again.
Of course, yeah. I just don't think they're too far back, I think, personally. I think like,
producer there?
yeah, like my
you go.
dark horses are probably, or dark horses to get in or dark horses just in the playoffs.
In the playoffs. Well, considering like if Florida Panthers get in, that's my dark horse. Obviously, you have a lot of ground to make up. I don't think they're gonna, but that's one of the teams where it's like, okay, they just need to get in, and then sky's the limit.
Yeah, so a couple people I'm going to eliminate just because so I'm just going to say these as like these are the top contenders, so I don't think they can possibly be considered dark horses in any way.
Yeah.
So like I would say that is Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, Tampa, the Oilers still stick there for me.
Do not say Carolina. Do not say Carolina. That's the most vanilla fucking team ever.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would still consider them, like, even if you pick them, I don't think they're really a dark horse because they're always good and like they make it far in the playoffs. But I get what you mean that like they haven't won a single game in the conference finals, which is tough. But the one I would probably go to is Utah. Like, I think they're a really, really good team.
Veg wins games too. I don't know if many people know. Veg is one of the most, like, has one of the, as a goalie, the most wins in the NHL, or one of the most with the most wins. So
yeah, they just like they seem like a great roster to me. I mean, they got some great players. Dylan Gunther just rips the puck.
And what if Rob Thomas goes there, right?
Like, yeah, of course. Me. Yeah, they seem like a pretty big player and a pretty big buyer at this deadline because they clearly want that thing that'll kind of push them over the edge. In terms of like other dark horses,
you know what? I'm not gonna say the Panthers. I changed my answer. Sabres.
Yeah,
those guys are fucking huge. Imagine them in playoffs.
Yeah,
dude, they're D and they're four. Like they have a line of like up front: Greenway, Thompson, Tuck. I forgot they have some other fucking guy that's huge. It starts with an H. Is it Hellenius? No, he might be on LA. Some big guy though. I don't remember his name. But they got a lot of Owen Power.
Yeah,
Darlene. Like those guys. Through a 7-game series, like remember how the Washington Capitals kind of manhandled the Habs, like just kept hitting them nonstop. Like that's gonna be their game plan against any other team too. So I'm gonna change my answer to the Sabres.
I like it. Yeah, they're a great team, and like I feel like I would just be so happy for Buffalo fans because they deserve it. Like I think they're one of the best fan bases in the league, and they get a lot of crap, and it's one of those things like I would see every year. You'll see like top American markets for like. Whatever ratings and television,
they're always up there.
They're always near the top, and they've been like irrelevant for so long.
And they're passionate too because every time I go down for Habs games, I'm always getting the bird. I'm always getting the Nylander treatment. So I'm like, all right, fuck me. Okay, I got to get the fuck out of here after we win.
Nylander treatment is
the
crazy.
Nylander treatment.
The Andrew Ference treatment.
Yeah, fucking right on.
He flipped you guys off.
There you go. That too. And so in terms of the West. What are we saying for the West? Like, we've made our picks for the East. The West is a bit trickier because it either seems like you're a favorite or you're not in the playoffs.
Or wait, sorry, I was supposed to be doing the East.
You already said Utah.
I already said Utah. I was just doing overall. Do you want me to say an East one then?
I'll give mine then.
You do a West and I'll do an East.
Oh, you didn't go East yet either, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we kind of did like a bit of a 180 there. So for my West, oh man, I feel like the Ducks can do some damage, but it will never be a 2-0 game. It'll always be like some 7-5 rout with the Ducks in the playoffs, and especially if they play the Oil in the first round. I had Johnny Lazarus on last week, and one of his playoff predictions was that the Ducks would upset the Oilers in the first round if they meet, obviously, because the standings are interchangeable every day. Yeah. But yeah, I think
like that's one where like you gotta expect the Oilers
too.
Well, you gotta expect the Oilers to pass the Kraken. Mm-hmm. Like so, that would make sense. But
in terms of your East.
In terms of my East, I'd probably like scroll up a little bit. Maybe I'd give it.
Don't tell me the Bruins. They're fucking. I don't see anything happening there. Scroll up a bit more. Let's see who we have.
The Islanders are a good dark horse. Buffalo's good.
They're kind of like all in like the same category.
Yeah, like they all feel pretty good. Like
if it's not Tampa, it's kind of like any of these teams can just make a push. You know what I mean? Like I think the East is wide open.
Yeah, 100%.
So
I mean, like, but I love that just looking at it, like seeing all the different series that are in there. Like, I think there's gonna be a lot of fun stuff. I mean, like, if I was really gonna go for like a dark horse, I think the Columbus Blue Jackets are playing some good hockey, and I think like, if they could sneak in and
well, ever since Bones went behind the bench there, holy fuck, they completely turned it around.
Yeah, they've been a bit of a wagon. So I feel like that could be a cool team to actually make some noise. But again, the tough thing is like if they get in, it's probably that 8th spot, and they're probably playing Tampa.
Yeah,
and Tampa's disgusting. But hey, they've got a history.
But hey, the Blue Jackets have once swept the Lightning, so
yeah, one of the best teams of all time.
You never fucking know, and that's kind of what gave the Lightning a kick in the ass and then win a couple of cups. So
Yeah.
it worked out for Tampa in the end. And one of those cups they took off of my team, so even better.
Yeah. I don't know. Does Montreal count as a dark horse? I do think they're nasty too. So like, I think it's not a bad dark horse pick.
You know what? We're gonna put the Habs on hold because I have a bit of a hypothetical for after.
Okay.
About the Habs, especially with the trade deadline on Friday. But we're gonna circle back on that, and we're gonna go into what we kind of chatted about. What you brought up kind of at the beginning of the show is the beers.
Here we go.
So This is one of the biggest segments of the show. Everyone loves these fucking clips, so we're gonna keep doing it because. And it's kind of like a whirlwind for me just because every fucking episode I have to come up with 5 new fucking beers.
Yeah.
And my ranking always is interchanging, and I always keep finding these new fucking beers where it's like, okay, maybe I have to rejig my number 5 or my top 5, should I say. But what I do is every new episode I'm going to give, obviously, a different 5. But obviously, you're brand new. You're today's co. You got
to be getting deep at this point. Like,
honestly, I'm finding some sleepers, man, and you might be fucking impressed. So, obviously, you're new to the show. You haven't given your 5 yet. So yours is going to be all fresh. We're going to know a little bit about Corwin, the man himself, right? So,
absolutely.
Because you're the guest, we're going to have you kick off first. Do you want to go 1 to 5 or 5 to 1?
Ooh, that's a great question. What do you normally do?
So
I think you've been going 1 to 5. I feel like we should draft at the top.
We usually have done 1 to 5, but last episode, Lazzy wanted to switch it up, and we did 5 to 1. So let's do 1 to 5.
Yeah.
Let's do 1 to 5. So your top spot is...
I get first overall?
Yeah, you get first overall.
Wow. Here we go. Okay.
It's an honor.
With the first overall pick in the 2026, whatever day it is, March 3rd, I guess it's March 5th.
This is going to be on the 5th.
Yeah. With the first overall pick in the 2026 March 5th beer draft, I am going to select the post-win beer.
Oh!
This is a big thing for me because a lot of people might say locker room beer or different things like that. It doesn't hit the same for me after a loss. I hate to lose. I love to win, and the beer after a win is extra special.
Oh, so this is a win of when you're playing.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I guess
you scared my pick.
Well, no, I mean, I agree that it also applies. It can be watching your favorite team win. Okay. It can be all those things. I think yeah.
So post-win beer was in my initial top 5 when I did the first one.
Oh,
so
really? Okay.
We're on the same page there. My first pick, and this might not apply to everyone because not everyone's probably experienced this.
Yeah.
An Oktoberfest beer in Munich in Oktoberfest.
That's so specific.
Have you been to Oktoberfest?
Are you like trying to access the German audience here? You're
Yeah,
like Leon Dreisaitl's the nicest guy.
Grubauer, get in here. Stu, get in here. Have you been to Munich or Germany?
No, I have not been to Germany.
Okay, so I went to Oktoberfest 2 years in a row a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's some good fucking beer. Like you will never have you been to Europe in general?
Yeah.
Countries like any middle of Europe, like the Czechs.
Yeah. I've been to Czechia and Czech Republic or whatever.
Have you had like Pilsner Urquell in Czech Republic?
Oh yeah,
fucking unreal, eh?
Yeah. Hey, I've had a couple Pilsner Urquells with Pasternak. You know, like that's my shout there.
Oh, that's better than my Draisaitl story. 'Cause that's one of my favorite fucking beers.
Yeah.
I have to split a G with McDavo now to top that. So. But yeah, Oktoberfest beer, something about when you get that fucking lederhosen on, you get the Stein, which is the 1 liter beer.
Yeah.
You always have a belt with those lederhosen, so you just rest the beer on your belt buckle, takes all the weight off. It's fucking fantastic. One time, I went 4 Steins in a row without pissing. 4 liters. I didn't feel bloated. It was the craziest shit ever. That was...
You just got good ingredients out there, you know? Everything's fresh in Europe.
It's not like here. Here, I'll have a fucking bud and I'll feel like ass. Anyway, number 2 pick for you, bud.
Number 2 pick, I'm gonna go with I'm in a stage of my life right now. I'm going on a lot of bachelor parties and things like that. People are starting to get married, things, and I'm a big fan of the Rally beer.
Ooh.
So this is a beer that it can come in a lot of different forms. It might be that somebody who thought they were done for the night cracks that beer.
Yeah.
Not only hearing them crack it, but then I think even
dial the fuck back in.
Yeah, and I think when you're thinking like, oh, the next morning it's like, oh, are we really doing this again or whatever? If you're at a bachelor party type thing, and then just that first someone, and then I think it just brings the whole crew together, and you start going again. And so I think that's a special beer.
That's a good one. Speaking of Rally beer, like I was in. I'm not the biggest NFL guy, but one of my best friends, he's from Thunder Bay. He's a Green Bay Packers fan. So we kind of had a deal where if I go to Green Bay, he'll come to Montreal for a game, right?
Yeah.
We kind of have that like package deal. So I went to Green Bay earlier this season, and that was the biggest bender ever. And the day of the game, it's like fucking 11 a.m., hungover as shit. I'm just hearing like everyone knocking on the door. Mo, let's have a wake up, let's have a fucking beer. I'm like, oh, but then as soon as you have it, it's fucking fantastic. So the Rally beer is good.
Brings you back to life.
My number 2 spot, I gotta go in the archives here just because I did write this down. So this is where it kind of intercepts with your post-win beer.
Okay.
But this is in terms of your favorite team. This is the post-playoff win beer.
Okay.
So if your team, like I'm a Habs fan, you're a Leafs fan.
Yeah.
If your team wins their playoff game that night,
I mean,
that one.
Yeah, it's an incredibly rare beer. So
I'm talking about a game, not a series.
Yeah.
But a series one is actually probably a bit better.
Oh.
Fuck it, I'm changing it. Post-playoff series win beer. That makes more sense.
Yeah, everyone that actually wins cups out there is sitting there like, you try the post-cup win beer. That's
Drinking
probably
up the
extra
Stanley
special.
Cup beer.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear a crazy story? So I'm buddies with like Luongo's nephew.
Okay.
He's more he's like I think in his early 20s.
Yeah.
I get a text message after they win the Stanley Cup last year, so the second time.
Yeah.
Because the Luongo family is
on the
Montreal, huh?
Because he's on the management team and.
Well, Luongo's he's on the management team too, yeah. So obviously the family's intertwined with the Panthers, right? And obviously they're a Montreal family. Luongo's from Montreal, and I get a text message or I get a DM from that guy, the nephew. I don't want to name drop him anyway, but I get a message being like, Mo, where are you at? And I'm like, I'm at home working. Why? And he's like, come to this rink. I Google it and it's in fucking Montreal. I'm like now? he's like, yeah, bro, now. I'm like,
and you're in Toronto at this
time? Yeah. I'm like, dude, I'm in Toronto. He's like, oh fuck, I thought because you're a Habs fan that you lived in Montreal. Because I'm only in Florida for like tournaments and like appearances and stuff like that, right? Like, dude, I live in Toronto. Fuck. He's like, oh shit, I thought you were in Montreal. I was gonna tell you because we're drinking out of the cup right now. I'm like, dude, if you told me the day before, immediate flight booked.
Yeah.
Like no fucking ifs, ands, or buts. So I could have almost done it. Anyway.
It'll be more special when it's your team.
Well, let's hope Cole Caulfield's smiling when I'm drinking out of the cup.
He's clutch.
He is clutch. And USA didn't need him, funny enough, after all of that. But that's obviously past trauma. Number 3 spot.
Number 3 spot. Ooh. I'm going to go with. This was kind of in like, and I'm sure someone has kind of said this in some way, but I think just like, it doesn't have to be a Stein. It doesn't have to be anything, but just the ice cold mug beer. And
I said that in my initial top 5 too.
Okay, yeah.
It's so important.
100%. Yeah, it's just like I think like it just changes the whole dynamic of what you're doing. It's an extra special treat whenever you're just at whatever bar. It's a nice surprise. Mm-hmm. Whoa!
And it doesn't taste like piss at the end because it's still cold.
Yeah, exactly. And it probably is going down quicker anyways because you're just liking it. So yeah,
that's kind of like that one kind of like snuck between the cracks there. No, not a lot of people thought of that one, which is crazy because it's such an important one. My number 3 spot this is obviously if you're in Florida. Or if you're in fucking like Arizona, this one doesn't apply to you because you guys have good weather all the time. But this is the first patio beer of the season.
Nice.
Which obviously I think this Saturday, if you're from the GTA, I think it's gonna be like 14 degrees.
Yeah.
I've heard. So that's not patio territory just yet, but we're inching ever so close. But a big one for people in kind of like the northern states or in Canada. So that's my 3rd. 4.
I like it. That's a good one. I think 4. I'm gonna go with ski beers.
Ooh.
I just love
après ski, pre-ski, mid-ski. What are we talking?
Include it all. You know, like why not?
It's an umbrella.
Yeah, pre-ski. Sometimes just get the liquid courage, get out there, and then I think sometimes you have a little beer at the top of the hill. You're in the chalet, something like that, and then sometimes it's an après ski, also a special time. So I think all of those are just great moments. And
what's your go-to beer at the après ski, or like if you had to pick one, what's your guy?
It's probably Guinness at this
point. Splitting some fucking G's. I like it. That's my favorite beer. That and Kona Big Wave are my 2 guys. That's why I say that.
Love that.
Kona Big Wave, they don't fucking sell in Canada anymore. Fuck.
I don't think I've ever had a Kona Big Wave.
Oh, dude, get down to Elbow Room.
Yeah?
They got the Kona Big Wave.
Okay.
My number 4 spot, and I have to go through the references again. Okay, so this one, also an underrated one, kind of sneaks between the cracks, but this is a long-ass week beer. So you've had a fucking week, whether you're traveling like no tomorrow, like sometimes me and Corwin are here, or if you're just fucking hammering away overtime at your 9 to 5 and it's finally fucking Friday or Saturday and you're finally getting together with your boys. The long ass week, we finally fucking made it beer.
I love that.
I think it's a big one.
Yeah.
It's a big one for the general population.
Can't believe they let us get to another weekend, you know?
Can't believe that. Yeah, fuck. Scary to be a Saturday night. Number 5, bud.
Number
Round
5.
off your list.
Yeah, okay. So I feel like I've got a quality list so far. If I really want like a good role player in there, I feel like I've got some high ceiling stuff.
You need a 200-foot guy here.
Yeah, 100%. Somebody who's
someone
reliable.
that can drop him and like, yeah.
And
Get
I
you
think,
some momentum.
Yeah, I mean, and this is more, I think, to my younger days, because now I live in Toronto. There's not a lot of garages going on, but I think I'm gonna go garage beer.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Okay. Even throwing the Kelseys in there a bit, eh?
Yeah, I mean, just crack open the door. Maybe it's raining outside.
Uh-huh.
That's why you're in there, or maybe it's just to escape some party, and you're like, I need a break. Then you meet your boy in there. And you just sit down, have a beer. It's a great time.
I like that. You know what? I'm gonna kind of obviously. You're speaking in terms of that was kind of in our past more so than it is current, the garage beer.
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of tail that to round off my 5. Obviously, this isn't something we're doing anymore, but I just remember back in the day when this was kind of a part of our lives, it just made it like way better. This is when you're going back to start the semester at uni in September, the Frosh Week beers.
Interesting.
Like, I remember, because I obviously went to U of T,
Yeah.
and a lot of my best friends today are I've met at U of T, so it's kind of like that rekindling, we have another fucking year, let's get after it. And then obviously Frosh Week is kind of like introduction by storm, if you will, of
course.
getting back in the swing of things. And we know Frosh Week, there's always beers being had, so that was a blast from the past. But that's going to round off my 5, even though those are obviously, as I said, in the past. Solid fucking list, dude.
Yeah, great draft.
Fucking Gary Bettman. You like that? You like that? Fucking McKenna who? Anyway, we only have a couple more topics here, and then we're gonna round off today's pod, or this week's pod, should I say?
Yep.
I did say I was gonna circle back on the Habs. Obviously, we've talked about your Leafs quite thoroughly, and we kind of know what the landscape is there.
Lose.
Fucking lose for the sake of the fucking organization and the sake of Boston's current pick. Lose. The trade deadline's Friday. We haven't really touched a lot on the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Robert Thomas, do you think he's a fit for the Habs? Do you think that works? Because right now,
absolutely. Anybody who can get Robert Thomas should be getting Robert Thomas. Like,
but let me tell you this though. So it's been leaked already in media that the ask for Robert Thomas is Gooley, Michael Hage, and 2 first-round picks. At that point, is it worth it? Michael Hage, especially with the story with his family getting drafted by the Canadians. Caden Gooley's talking, what is he, 23 or something like that?
Yeah.
That guy's going to be a top 4 stud for his whole career in Montreal. Hage obviously has that 2C potential.
Yeah, I'd say no.
You say no?
Yeah. Personally, I just think, and I am naturally a guy that leans more towards like, stick with your steam, stick with your process. Like, they're early in this, right? Like, they don't need to sell the farm to try to be competitive this year. They're already a very good team.
Yeah.
I think all you're trying to do as a GM, I think, is expand your window as much as you can. Stay in the playoffs, stay competitive. So one year you might just happen to go on a run, and then
people are forgetting too. Thomas is getting, I think he's on an 8x8. I don't know how many years he has left, but he's on an $8 million a year contract.
He has like 5 years left.
Exactly. And Michael Hage, when he comes in, you're getting this guy at entry level for 3 years before you even think about what his first contract even looks like.
For sure. But at the same time, I will say, like, prospects are prospects. Like, it's funny. I always used to like make up trades, and like nobody has ever been angrier at me in any moment of my career than when I suggest a trade and people are like think it's
blowing smoke.
So like, but like no, there's been like a couple where like when Jack Eichel was in Buffalo and I suggested that the Devils trade for him, I suggested a trade that at the time people were like, you are a moron, and like fully said it was like the dumbest trade you could ever make. It was Jack Eichel for Luke Hughes, which is a tough one, obviously. You got his brother there. You don't want to break up the brothers.
Yeah.
But it was, at the time, I was just kind of thinking, like, just pure value, I would probably do, like, Luke Hughes, Ty Smith, and Alexander Holtz. Ty Smith had just come off a pretty good season.
That's a good one.
And Alexander,
for the time, at least. Like, looking back at it.
100%. And then Alexander Holtz is a guy that, like, it it didn't work out as well as they kind of hoped, but he
Yeah.
looked like a really great prospect. But that's the thing about prospects. You never really
never
know.
know. Yeah.
And it's just,
You know what you have in Thomas. You don't really know what you have with Hage yet.
yes. So I do think that's fair. And I do think like $8 million, we're going to have to get used to the fact that that's not that much anymore.
No, it's
And,
not.
And so I don't think
For the Habs, it's the standard though, which I fucking love.
yeah, I don't think it would be a bad trade, but if I'm the Habs, I don't do it. I think you stick to the plan.
And in terms of other potential pieces, Montembeault, fun fact for Monty, in 7 of his last 10 games, he's given up 3 or more goals and has only won 2 of those games. So he went 2 for 5 in that stint. So obviously Monty leaks goals, and when he does leak those goals, they don't necessarily win the games. He's given up more.
Damn, not a Monty fan.
Well, okay, I'm getting somewhere with this.
He
I'm
obviously
getting somewhere with
leaks
this.
goals, is what you just said. That was crazy.
Hey, Monty, I still love you, bro. But in terms of Dobie, he had a recent stretch of 11 games where he hasn't lost at all in regulation. He went 9. He got 9 wins in those 11 games too. So 9-0-2 in his past 11. That guy's turning it on. Obviously, he had a bit of a shaky stint there. He started out really hot, then a bit shaky, and now hot again. But even though Monty and Dobie can be kind of like up and down, and when they're on, they're on.
Yeah.
Do you think guys like Bob and Binnington make sense for Montreal to acquire, especially with them potentially being a sneaky team in the playoffs?
No, because I think Jacob Fowler's the truth. I think
But
he
Binnington
will.
only has 1 more year. I think it's next year. He only has 1 more year. It's just a bridge piece for Fowler.
I guess I don't know. Like, it depends what you'd have to give up. Obviously,
I think it's Montembeault in a first.
Yeah, personally, I wouldn't. I
No?
don't know. Like,
Okay.
because I just think it's such an unsure thing, no matter what. That like goaltending's always tough. That I think trust your guys and go with it. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're sticking.
Yeah, like again, I'm just one of those guys that like trust me as a Leafs fan, I've seen what a lot of the first round picks that we traded have turned
Yeah.
into, and it's sad.
It's not always great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if we could be out there with Seth Jarvis and a bunch of other guys, I think we'd be in a lot better position. So
I mean, you weren't the team that picked Kotkaniemi over Quinn Hughes and Brady Tkachuk. I'll tell you that much. That's the big
Fair.
one for us. But then again, if we did get one of those studs, maybe we wouldn't be where we are today. It's all relative.
what picks did you get back for him in the
Kotka,
Yeah.
KK,
like
Wait,
with the offer sheet?
Kotkaniemi.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember. It wasn't a first, but I do remember the main trade there was who did we get? We replaced him with Dvorak or something like that. That was like the big. No, it wasn't. I don't remember what we did with Kotkaniemi, to be
Well, no, I
honest.
just mean because you'd automatically get some picks.
No, it wasn't a
But
first. I think it was like a
was
second or
third,
something.
and
A second
fourth
and
or
a third.
something.
Yeah. But it wasn't the upper echelon one, obviously. Playoffs start tomorrow. Which goal are you starting? I know you're not the biggest Habs guy, but is it Monty or is it Dobesh's net?
Just Jacob Fowler.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Dagger. Jacob, this guy loves you.
Yeah.
And Caulfield will be smiling regardless. Okay. We're going to end it off with this. Are you a fantasy guy in any means? Fantasy hockey? Are you involved? Not really.
I am maybe this is a confession. I've never said this on anything
Uh-oh.
ever before.
Oh,
I
fuck.
am maybe the worst fantasy hockey owner of all time in terms of I think I draft good teams, but then most over under times I've set my lineup, you could probably set it like 1.5. And like I genuinely with some of my best friends in the world kicked me out of a league because of how inactive I was in it. I don't know what it is.
You need to
and,
set the fucking alarm
yeah,
every day.
I'm dialed into hockey all the time, but there's something, and I'm great at other fantasies. I used to be in like a dynasty baseball league where it's like
shit.
a 40-man roster, and the whole
Yeah.
draft at the beginning of the year is you're drafting like MLB draft players, so they don't even start playing until like 6 years from then.
Holy
and I was like
fuck.
dedicated to that, and so I don't know what it is about hockey that like I think to be honest, you know what it is. I hate the stats in fantasy hockey.
Okay.
They annoy me, and I
Like
find
hits,
every
blocks,
single league
plus minus.
well, and every single league is so different
I
that
know.
it's just like however the like commissioner of that league decided it is just like a massive bias into what player becomes the most valuable.
All of a
And
sudden,
then-
Ratko Gudas is a top 10 player because it's a hits league.
yeah, it's ridiculous, and it's stuff that just doesn't really impact the game as much. And I think if they could find a way to somehow get closer to like it mattering for, and of course there still is like most of the time they're like the top guys are usually still top guys in some ways, but
Yeah.
I hate that like there's random guys that just get way more value because of things that aren't as impactful for the game.
Yeah, I mean, producer Matt is our again not here. I don't know if he won his game yet or not, but he's our commissioner of our league, and I think he does a pretty good fucking job of setting that standard where the good players are the good players. But
I like that.
the point of this segment is sleeper fantasy player of the week. So every week we kind of just give a name or two that we're thinking could potentially be a guy that's available on the waiver wire, not like rostered.
I can still try to get on that.
Yeah, let's hope so at least,
Yeah.
right? I'm going to go the angle of, I think last week I picked Brent Clark just because Artemi Panarin is now there, and he's on power play 1 as the QB there.
It's a great pick. I love Brant Clark.
Right? And he scored again yesterday against the Avs too. So sneaky good pick there. Today, I was leaning Kadri, I was leaning Rob Thomas, but I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't think Thomas is going to go, and I think Kadri isn't going to be getting the same minutes as he is in Calgary to get as many points. So I'm going to go the route of Kyrou, potentially going somewhere and being a first-line winger somewhere else. Because I feel like,
I like that.
With Thomas and Kadri, I feel like they're not going to be 1C wherever they go, or like in the first, for example, power play or first line. Thomas maybe, Kadri, I don't know, but that's why I'm going the route of Kyrou, just because I think it's he'll go to one of those bubble teams on the brink of a playoff spot or not. So I'm going to go with Kyrou. Not the greatest year so far. 50 games played, only 33 points, but I think he's due for kind of that change in scenery. So I'm going to go with Jordan there.
I think that's a solid pick. I mean, like, I guess I'm trying to think like what, because like is Robert Thomas a guy, or are either of them?
He's not highly rostered. They're not both.
Really?
None of them are highly rostered.
Okay, fair.
So,
damn. Yeah, I guess they just haven't had a good year, and that's
last week. Lazzy picked. Who'd he pick again? He picked Kiefer Sherwood because he's on the first line now with.
I like that. Yeah.
With Celebrini.
Yeah.
So that's a good one, but like it's tough, man. I don't know. Like I had to do some digging. I looked at my fucking waiver wire. I'm like, okay, what here like actually looks decent?
Yeah, I think like okay, if I was gonna like take a shot in the dark, I mean, I'd throw out like, and I don't think it's gonna happen, but I'd love for the but if there was some move and it kind of sparked a bit of a comeback for him, and I don't know what his roster percent would be because. No, I was gonna. That's actually not a bad one. Just because power play.
You were going there.
Power play merchant. That,
Yeah.
That's if you're in a league with power play goals or points, and that's huge. But I was gonna say Elias Pettersson.
Ooh, the Canes are kicking on this guy, man.
I think if he went to Carolina, that'd be an incredible.
Why the fuck are Canucks keeping him? I have no fucking idea.
I just wouldn't know like what percent do you think he would be rostered? Like, is that a guy that would be?
Hey, you know what? Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Usually I have my phone behind the scenes right now, but but right now because I wasn't dialed in with the beer. Oh, I got some points right now. There's some games going on right now. Let's see. Pettersson. So right now, 77%. So he's been dropped quite a bit because I think he started the year in the 90s.
Yeah. I would imagine he was close to 99 something. Like so he's a guy
Hasn't scored in 14.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Hey, buy low.
Buy low. Yeah, exactly. You think he would go where do you think a good fit for him would be? We'll end it off with that. Pettersson.
I think this is crazy. Well, I guess the easy answer is anywhere because I think he just needs to change the scenery.
Yeah.
And like because I think he's an incredible player and like I think he'd be great in Toronto.
Everyone, let's get to fucking Toronto.
Yeah, exactly. But
give Berube another kick at the can.
But more realistically, I think he'd be incredible in Carolina. I'd be really interested to see what they would be giving up for that.
Tough.
And how they're making that fit because from what I understand, like most people are saying that Vancouver probably wouldn't want to retain anything on that. So like,
I don't think you're getting rid of him without retention.
Yeah, I don't know.
And if you are giving him up and they're taking full salary for it, you're not getting a whole lot.
It hurts your return, yeah. So
you're not getting a whole lot.
I mean, yeah. Well, then like he'd be amazing in so many places. Like I think like LA would be a great one that I think like just giving them if he can get back to like quality talent, like top quality, and he's like the highest ceiling player they'd have, and so I think especially with like the Fiala injury and some stuff like that.
Okay, I like that. I'm just gonna throw in just because I have the jersey or Seattle. Yeah, no,
that'd be a great fit too. 100%.
Exactly. But yeah, we don't know what the fucking ask would be, but today's Corwin. I guess Corwin. Boom, right there, right? Thank you for coming on, brother.
No, it was my pleasure.
We did chat about kind of like our biases, Leafs, Habs. Did.
I showed mine,
No kidding, eh? I'll be in the building Saturday night against the Lightning. Any predictions?
I hope they lose.
Again, ramping up the L column, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. We want to keep that pick.
There you go. Be sure to check out, obviously, Corwin. He does great stuff with Bauer. You've obviously seen him growing up, like I have, obviously, throughout his social media career, whether it is with Bar Down or now with Bauer. Anything you want to bring up, brother? Anything you want to shout out, mention?
Let's see.
On the spot, bud.
I'm trying to think if there's like a really...
If you missed a beer.
Yeah, just a beer, you know? Like, that's my best beer. But no, I think like... just trying to think if there's any really good YouTube videos I've really seen. Oh, I just saw a good movie, Nirvana, the show, the band, the movie.
Oh, yeah?
Great flick, especially if
You're a
you're
Nirvana
local
guy,
to Toronto. No, it's not Nirvana. It's like it's this show that was like locally made for a long time, and then they have a movie now, and it's incredible. It's so good. I highly recommend it.
You recommend?
Yeah.
Where can they watch that?
I think in theaters. Yeah.
Okay, boom. Oh, fucking right. All right.
Yeah.
They're out now.
Yeah. I have nothing to do with the movie, and I know you were more saying to like plug myself, but that was just something I saw recently. Dude, it was unreal.
Passionate about it. Yeah. Passionate about it.
Yeah. Or check out like beaver edits on Instagram. Like it's just these like beavers, and they make these really dramatic edits about them, like building dams and how it's like just so important to the world.
This is not where I was going with this.
I just love consuming that content. It's great. So check it out.
You know what immediately goes to my head, and this is the brain rot in me, the fucking pigeon doctor.
Oh god, yeah, where he's like walking.
The fucking pigeon doctor. So that made me think of that. I'm thinking fucking wombats now too. My mind's going now. But anything you want to plug for yourself, or we just wanted to leave it at that?
Not just beaver edits and Nirvana the band.
Everyone watch the fucking beaver edits for fuck's sakes. This has been the Mo&Co
Throw a beaver edit in right now. You know, like at the end of the show, just have a beaver edit.
Ready?
Yeah.
Beaver. Maybe something came up. We'll find out in the post edit. This has been the Mo&Co Show, episode 9. If you haven't signed up for the Mo Cup already, get going on that, because that is May long weekend. Spots are filling up fast. If you want custom Mo Cup jerseys as well, we are doing those as well. The best youth tournament in the GTA AA, AAA. So get your squads in now while spots are going at the beautiful, unreal Scotiabank Pond. And you know what? I'm probably going to be doing a live pod, and maybe we'll see Corwin at the live pod at the pond too. So potential. Maybe we'll throw in some beaver posters too.
Hey, teaser episode number 10. I heard number 10, Artemi Panarin's coming on the show. So check it out.
He's 72 now. He gifted a Rolex to fucking Bailey.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, Pavel Bure said.
Yeah, boom. You know what? That's a bit of a blast from the past. Mo&Co Show, episode 9. We got episode 10 coming up. We're already at 10. So thank you all for watching. Obviously, make sure to check out Corwin and all the unreal things he does. And we'll see you next week.